Thank you so much for your invitation. It's an honor for me to be here and speak about the situation of LGBTQI Afghans inside the country and also about our activities. We started our work at the beginning of 2020, but we officially registered Afghanistan LGBTQ Plus Organization, or ALO, following the fall of Afghanistan by the Taliban in 2021 in Czech Republic. We established our organization officially in Czech Republic because we want to respond to the humanitarian crisis that affected LGBTQI people in Afghanistan because of the fall of Afghanistan, because of the Taliban. For example, the first thing that we've done was providing financial aid to LGBTQI people inside the country. For example, in 2021, following the fall of Afghanistan, we helped at least 200 LGBTQI people financially, or last year we helped 117 people financially. We sent cash assistance to those LGBTQI people. Furthermore, we help in cooperation and coordination with some of the international organizations. We help some of the LGBTQI people to come outside of Afghanistan, and we brought them to safer countries to start their new life in a safer environment. And more importantly, we do advocacy for the rights of LGBTQI people at the national and international level, for the rights of LGBTQI people, and also we do advocacy for the rights of LGBTQI people outside of Afghanistan, and also LGBTQI asylum seekers and refugees. For example, we actively advocated at the EU level, for example, at the European Parliament or the European Council, for the rights of LGBTQI asylum seekers, because we believe that many LGBTI Afghans who have been evacuated from Afghanistan and they were relocated in some of the European countries, they faced extra layers of discrimination and violence again in European countries. And we try to address these challenges. For example, many LGBTQI people who were relocated to Germany, for example, they experienced violence and harassment in the immigration camp by other Afghan refugees or other asylum seekers and refugees from other nationalities. So we tried to address these issues and challenges, and also we do advocacy to create a safe and legal pathways for LGBTI Afghans inside the country. Not only LGBTQI Afghans, but also we do advocacy for creating a safe and legal pathways and passages for all LGBTQI people in conflict zones and in challenging areas. Well, after the fall of Afghanistan, first I want to mention that LGBTQI people in Afghanistan have never been safe inside the country. Even before the fall of Afghanistan, they experienced violence and discrimination in Afghanistan. The punishment for same-sex relationship was imprisonment. But after the fall of Afghanistan, the situation became worse for those LGBTQI people inside the country. For example, the judge of Taliban obviously, in an interview with Bill News Agency, said that the punishment for same-sex relationship is death penalty. For example, he said that the punishment for homosexuality is two things. The first one is stoning until death, and the other one is breaking down the wall over them. Or recently, at the beginning of this year, Zabihullah Mujahid, in an interview with Radio Azadi, said that we don't accept LGBTQI people. It is not acceptable by our religion, Islam, and also by our society. And even he claimed that we don't have LGBTQI people, we don't have gay people inside the country. We have just few people that they brought by NATO's and Western countries in Afghanistan. So we can see that they deny the existence of LGBTQI people, but on the other hand, on the ground, they repress the LGBTQI people inside Afghanistan. We received many reports and messages from LGBTQI people that they faced violence, torture from the Taliban just because of their sex characteristics, because of their gender expression or sexual orientation or gender identities as a queer person in Afghanistan. For example, Outright International and Human Rights Watch, and also our organization, documented the case of a Ramiz. Ramiz was a 20-year-old gay man who was arrested by 4 Taliban soldiers for 8 hours, and they gang raped him, unfortunately. And also there was a Ghulam. Ghulam was an LGBT rights activist, and he was advocating for the rights of LGBTQI people and those people with diverse sexual orientation and gender identities, and on social media. And he was arrested, and according to his brother, he was executed by the Taliban just because of his activism for the rights of LGBTQI people. And we received many messages and emails from other LGBTQI people that they told us that they were beaten, they were sexually harassed or sexually assaulted by the Taliban just because of their gender identity or sexual orientation, and most of whom were transgender or lesbian people. And the situation for lesbians are even worse for those people inside the country, because lesbians experience extra layers of discrimination and violence in Afghanistan. For example, first they experience violence just because of their gender identity as a woman. Then they experience violence because of their sexual orientation as a lesbian. So this is the situation, and because of this horrible situation, they usually try to escape from Afghanistan to neighboring countries. But there is a fact that the neighboring countries around Afghanistan are not safe for them either. For example, in Iran, the punishment for same-sex relationship is death penalty. That's why they choose dangerous routes to cross the border and go to other countries like Turkey or European countries. But during this journey, they experience multiple violences and discriminations. For example, Sahar was a very young woman. She was lesbian, and she was sexually assaulted by human traffickers while she was trying to cross the border from Iran to Turkey, and Turkey to the European Union. And these are some of the simple examples that I mentioned. There are many stories like this. Many LGBTQI people experience these things every single day in Afghanistan and in neighboring countries. But but unfortunately, I believe that international community has done nothing for the rights of LGBTQI people, and they did nothing for them to protect them. I do believe that they remain silent about the violation of human rights of LGBTQI people, in contrast with its more vocal response to the violation impacting women and ethnic minorities. I think one of our main things that one of the main things that we want at the moment is financial resources and resources in order to continue our activities. Because as I mentioned earlier, that we've done all of this important work, amazing work, I think, without any financial support and resources. One of the things that we want to start from next year is documenting the gender persecution of LGBTQI people in Afghanistan. In order to hold the Taliban accountable for their atrocities against the community. And we want to do more research, more thematic research and documentation about these issues. And we want to coordinate and cooperate with some of the some international organizations and or United Nations accountability mechanisms, or some regional international mechanisms that work for accountability, like ICC or some of the court at the regional level, in order to hold the Taliban accountable for their atrocities against LGBTQI people. And also another initiative that we want to implement is that to create a multimedia platform in order to educate people inside the country in Afghanistan about the diverse sexual orientations and gender identities. Because I do believe that one of the main reasons that people violate the rights of LGBTQI people is because of the lack of information. And we believe that through this platform, we can educate them so they can learn about the community, about the LGBTQI people, so they can we can make the situation better for the next generation of LGBTQI people inside the country. I do believe that no one should experience violence, discrimination, torture, or harassment just because of who they are and who they love. And I think it's very important that the international community support those LGBTQI people in conflict zones and challenging areas, and they should advocate for the rights of LGBTQI people in this situation.